What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Stream Key Podcast, our weekly show here at True, where we talk about how to level up your streaming game. Now, quickly, before we start the show, you guys, a lot of you are probably here for the giveaway, which is this beautiful mic right here. That will be at the end of the show. But during the show, if you're in stream watching, whether you're a sub or not, hosting, subbing, whatever, you're earning points to win that mic. So hang tight. We'll explain and open the giveaway at the end of the show. If you have more questions about that, just ask in chat and some mods can help you. But for today, we're going to get into the Stream Key Show, which is, again, the show about how to level up your stream on Twitch. I'm here today with three people who are both, all three online, starting with MemoriiCard is here for the second time, I believe, on the phone-in show. Is that right?
Correct. That'll be the second time.
Nice. How you doing today, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking.
There we are.
And we got Diasean here back with us again with the beautiful accent. How you doing today, dude?
I'm doing all right. Got out of work early. I had this thing I had to do.
Imagine that. And Veli here back again too. How you doing, Vel?
Good, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. You guys are all asking me how I'm doing. Thank you. I'm so flattered. No, usually no one asks. That's why I'm surprised. So if you guys haven't seen this before, though, this show is the call-in show. So you can actually call in to be on the screen like these guys, or just your audio if you don't have access to a webcam. And if you can't get access to Discord, you can also just text in the chat, tag TRUgaming with your questions. This show is really driven by you guys. So, you know, if you have a certain topic that you're struggling with on your stream, maybe you can't find a brand, maybe you can't find a consistent schedule, whatever it is, you can mention it here and we'll kind of give you advice and our own thoughts on that here. And if you want to call in yourself and talk about it, you can do that too. So real quickly, to call into the show, to be on the screen like these guys, type !stream key, and you can join that server. You want to join the voice chat in there. And once we see you in there, we'll get you ready to come on the show. Again, if you can't get on the actual audio video for any reason, just text in either Twitch chat or Discord chat, and we'll still answer those questions. But to start off, we always like to start with Twitch news over the last week, and there was some pretty big news this week, I think, for a lot of us here. TwitchCon Na got announced, which is pretty cool. I know Vel and Diasean were there with us last year. MemoriiCard, did you go last year to TwitchCon?
Unfortunately, not with you guys, but I was definitely there last year.
Okay, but so we were all there last year. That's what matters. It got announced for September 27th and 29th in San Diego, which is cool. It was there, I think, in 2016, if I remember correctly. So did any of you guys go to the 2016 TwitchCon by chance? No?
No, last year was my only one so far.
Okay. Yeah, no, Vel and I have only been to the last two. Diasean, you've been to just the past one or more than that?
I just went to the past one, like the year before. Like I've been streaming 18 months now, so
right.
I was like, oh yeah, I want to go to TwitchCon. You know, I just started 2 months ago. It's fine.
Right.
No.
Awesome. Well, so I'm pretty excited about it because it's in San Diego. It seems like it was pretty good when it was there 3 years ago. So hopefully it's better than where it was last year because there were all sorts of issues with San Jose, with the waiting lines and the strike going on outside and just lots of stuff. So hopefully this one's a lot better. I know a lot of people in the Discord have already booked tickets and everything, which is crazy. Have you guys made plans to go yet, or are you still kind of thinking about it at this point?
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely going. I'm just trying to plan how many people I'm renting a house with. Yeah. Last year there was like 8 or so of us that all rented a house together.
Pretty sure I'm not going this year, to be honest. It's unfortunate, but I don't think it's going to work out for me this year just because, you know, I went full-time with streaming. I don't have the extra, you know, income like I did when I had a job last year. So I'm just going to enjoy streaming full-time, and I knew that there was going to be sacrifices with doing that, and this is probably going to have to be one of them. So
On the other hand, we went down to a single income in the home here and a wallet that opened up and a moth comes out of it. It tells you you're not going to TwitchCon this year. So
I have no money.
So we've gone on the concept of unless something really spectacular happens during the course of the year, can't pull it off, really.
For like the East Coast TwitchCon, but not yet. We got Berlin, so that's a start. But definitely wanted to mention that because it's
great.
Yeah. But hadn't mentioned that for sure. There were a couple other things that were sort of like rumors or teases. The first thing that is actually definitely coming, big changes to the Twitch desktop app, which we talked about before in the show is kind of a joke. They announced whatever huge changes are, and somebody actually in the Stream Key server has some inside knowledge or something. So I don't know exactly what that means. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But they said huge changes. So these aren't small things, apparently. Have you guys ever used the Twitch desktop app before? Most people on here have not.
Yeah.
Wait, the dashboard, is that the thing that
you don't even
pops
know
up
what I'm talking about? Yeah.
That just shows the little activity bar and that's it?
No.
No?
There was a downloadable app for Twitch that was very similar to Discord. It was, you remember when Curse was a thing before Discord kind of got huge?
Yeah.
That became the Twitch app, and as you guys are telling me, you have no idea what I'm talking about. That's the problem with Twitch app.
Lady over here, Lady Radar, she has it installed for one simple reason. Twitch sings. They gave her access to the beta, but you have to use the app to do it.
So just twisting your arm to use it at that point, right?
So Twitch sings is literally the way they're shoving it into people's computers. If you want to karaoke online and not have your stream muted.
Makes sense. Well, we'll have to wait and see what that is. Hopefully it's something worthwhile. I don't know. I've heard a lot of big stuff is coming for Twitch this year. We'll have to see. The third thing was there's been this rumor going around /glitch/ I don't know if it's actually a thing, but I thought I should mention it, that affiliates will potentially get a second emote slot coming soon. I think that came when a few affiliates saw a section there and it got taken down. Different rumors going around. So I think it'd be kind of cool if they did it. I'm sure you guys all as affiliates have ideas for a second emote at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I had a bunch of them lined up, with the swift rejection of the partner application. I really would almost, I know everybody gets really mad about how close affiliates are to partners, but I would almost rather not have the opportunity to get tier 2 and tier 3 subs and just be able to have or earn up to 3 emote slots for my tier 1 subs. Yeah. I would much rather have that trade-off.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, it's a hard sell to say for $5 extra you get one more emote, or 15, 25 extra bucks. That's kind of tough. By the way, we're right there with you with the partnership app thing. We did not get accepted for that either. So brothers in defeat there. It's all right. We will be victorious later.
Hopefully round 2.
Yeah. So that was most of the, there was also Twitch Rivals is coming to Stardew Valley of all things, which wouldn't be like the first thing I'd think of for Twitch Rivals, but I guess they're going to do some sort of competitive thing there with who can grow crops the fastest, stuff like that. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm excited that they're expanding into new games. So any of you guys play Stardew Valley by chance? I don't think so, but okay, Diasean does. What do you think about that then?
There's a couple of different ways they could be doing it. They could be doing it based on you trying to get through the year 1 challenge. Like there's streamers who have done the thing of trying to fill in the community center in a year, try to get every single thing for the packages. But they also put in that multiplayer app, and there's actually a couple of mods out there that let you, well, for want of a better word, battle royale.
Oh gosh!
You can literally kick the crap out of other people in Stardew Valley, including I'm not messing with you. You can put up fences to protect yourself and block people in. They Fortnited Stardew, ladies and gentlemen. They Fortnited it.
Do you actually
lost me a Fortnite?
People, or do you just farm them into oblivion?
You literally put up fences. They can't get away from you, and they have to break the fence. But it's easier to put it up than to take it down. So it's like...
It sounds like Fortnite.
There we go.
Oh my God,
I have so many questions now. Can you steal the other person's carrots and wage war on their sheep?
Is there a gold star?
So we're clear. I haven't used it. I read it because I was disturbed by the concept of it being introduced into my farming game, where all I do is OCD the boxes. But by the same token, the idea of watching a couple of farmers in the middle of town just dropping fences around each other while they're swinging their picks and their bloody swords at each other, it's just like...
It sounds pretty funny.
That sounds so stupid.
I mean, okay, to be fair, I kind of impressed by Tetris Battle Royale, and if Tetris could do it, then I assume Stardew could do it.
Oh my
that
God.
was pretty hilarious to me. Okay, so that was most of Twitch news. If you guys saw something that I missed, let me know, and I can go over it. But that's the big stuff I saw. I wanted to quickly talk about a new segment kind of on here with stats. So if you guys know my own stuff, I like to look at game stats. So I think from week to week, we'll look at how Twitch is doing. So since last week, global viewers are down about 150,000 on Twitch. So that'll use that to frame your reference for the next stuff. Apex is up 14,000 overall. Fortnite is down 86,000, which is crazy. League's up a little bit, and Shroud is the third most watched channel at all over the last week. He beat channels like Riot Games, like Ninja, like the official Rainbow Six channels. So it's pretty crazy to me that Shroud is beating out like the official gaming channels of some of these huge games.
Coincidentally, while playing Apex.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is his calling card for sure. So,
God.
You guys have any thoughts on any of those numbers at all?
I mean, it is obviously concerning to anybody on the platform when you see 6 digits of viewers drop in 7 days. That being said, it may be interesting to get a little more data to see if they're going anywhere else. I know we've talked several times on here about different platforms becoming available and growing.
Yeah.
So that might be some information worth looking into. As far as Shroud goes, I mean, he's been one of the best on the platform for years and years, and I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily give him quite as much credit just because he's not as much under that hype beast category as you would see like Ninja or Tfue or someone like that. I mean, the dude looks like he's streaming out of a kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, he's not over exaggerating anything.
Yeah, I think it's so cool to see him kind of taking the lead now with this new year with Apex. Pretty exciting for sure. Okay, last couple things that I saw, which were not really either category. First of all, I wanted to talk about this with you guys. I talked to a little bit with Velok before we started, but it's just something that happened that I think a lot of streamers probably deal with at some point, at least the struggle of it. So DrLupo, there's a clip in the stream key if you want to see this in the Discord. He was streaming and was getting some comments about how he looked bad or looked tired and just decided to turn off his cam for the rest of the stream. And of course, I'm sure this happens with a lot of streamers, but since DrLupo is so spotlighted, it really got a lot of attention. So I was curious what you guys think about his decision to do that. Like, have you guys ever struggled with getting comments like that or thought about turning off your cameras? Because you all stream with cameras. So at this point, like, you're kind of locked into that. Do you ever kind of wish you could turn off your camera, or maybe you have in the past because of certain things that have been said?
I think being able to turn off the camera would be kind of cool every once in a while, just because like you don't always want to get ready for like the presentation of like your stream and everything. Like I don't always want to make sure my hair doesn't look like shit from just waking up, because I do those morning streams. Like sometimes I'll wake up at 7:55 and I stream at 8, so I really need to hurry. You know what I mean? But I totally understand just being fed up with people just kind of like talking shit or just being a-holes in the chat, because I mean there's always going to be trolls, and it sucks that he let it get to him, because it's hard to come back from something like that. And it's just it's kind of like when Shroud punched his monitor. It just kind of puts like a negative light on him temporarily.
I did not see that. I saw Summit do it. I didn't see
not
Shroud.
I'm sorry, Summit. Yeah.
Okay.
Summit,
I was gonna say I could not see
Shroud,
Shroud doing that.
Shroud doesn't have emotions. He's a robot.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. Well, yeah, I just want to mention it because, like I said, I think a lot of people who, if you stream with a camera, you've probably felt this to some extent. Either like people saying something, or maybe you just kind of feel like you don't look so great that day and you don't want to turn on the camera. Diasean, MemoriiCard, have you guys felt this at all before?
Thank you. You may have noticed I don't look like the youngest man on the planet. There's a lot of gray hair. There's been more than a couple of times someone come into the channel and be like, "Oh, look, Granddad's playing." Yes, I am your granddad. Tell your mom I said hi, and your nana as well. Because realistically, this is me. I go to work. I have my life. I have no problem with me being me on stream. I'm very upfront with who I am here. I'm a smartass. I like to crack jokes in awkward situations. Yeah. Hello, peanut gallery. And so there are times where my way of dealing with things that bother me is to crack a joke about it. Like, I will occasionally, right? I'll be streaming. I'll look down for a second. And I'll be like, "There's a shine up here. I'm gonna shave it all off." And the wife is like, "Yeah, shave it. I'll do it." But I've never thought to myself, I can't handle the camera. I look tired. Anyone who's been in my stream knows I am always tired. I'm a night owl who
Aren't we
works
all?
super early in the morning, so that I get out at 2:00 in the afternoon, giggling at the rest of the day. So I am, for want of a better word, my new form is permanently exhausted pigeon. So, anyone comes in and says, "You look tired," I am. I am beat. I've got 14 cups of coffee in me, and I'm working on number 15.
There you go. Yeah, I personally don't know that I've ever really worried about. I mean, I guess it comes with just the regular stream anxiety. Like, do I look okay? Do I look presentable? But I'm just indefinitely under the impression I look like a scrub, so that way I can't disappoint myself. Fortunately, I don't think I've had that many people come in my comments being like, "Wow, you look like you just took a shovel to the face," or something like that. You know what I mean? Whereas my significant other, when she streams, I think being a female, unfortunately, being a female that tries very, very hard to not rely on appearances as a streamer, I think she has a lot more issues with that than I run into myself. But yeah, I don't think I've ever really had anybody come in and come after my appearance that I've let land anywhere.
Right. Okay. Well, I
it
just
all
want
the
to give
time.
that because if you guys in the chat have kind of felt that before, just know that, you know, everyone kind of deals with that. And at the end of the day, it's your stream and you can run it how you want, right? Like you can pull the Lupo and just turn off the camera if you want to.
I mean, that's what it
For
comes
sure.
down to. What's on your stream is you, your stuff, how you want to present it. If you want to do it with the camera, you don't want to do it with the camera, that is entirely up to you. Will some of the people who are watching react? Yeah. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
The good news for us, I mean, every one of us who are on this call right now is we're all guys. We're never going to have anyone pop in and be like, open a button.
Well, you never know these days.
Which is good on our side. And it's a thing that we don't have to worry about the appearance so much as some of the female streamers who are out there. There's this fine line that as some streamers will have to go where they have to be like, I want to be neat and look okay, but I also want to make sure that I'm not getting people coming in and giving me sass about how I look.
Mm-hmm.
We have a benefit in being male at this point that we don't have to worry about a lot of that part. Like Felix thought was, sometimes I have to brush my hair. I don't think any one of us in here has ever thought, do I need some concealer? I'm looking shiny, like a lot of shiny. I should get some matte or whatever that stuff is called. I don't know.
Matte foundation.
Matte
Thank you for
foundation. I was
taking my comment
close.
from
I
yesterday.
was so close. So, you know, we have a bit more freedom than some of the other streamers are out there. I mean, I know for a fact I've been in one female streamer's channel. She had no camera. And one of the guys comes off in and is like, why is there no camera? You ugly?
Oh boy. Yeah, I can see that happening for sure. Yeah, I mean the whole female male thing we've talked about here as well a lot. That there's always gonna be a little bit more of that with female streamers, just that's how the platform is. But I think either way, like I said, that you still feel it whether you're male, female. I think Lupo's kind of a good example in that way. That, you know, this is a male streamer who felt that in the same way. So I want to move on to the next topic, though. Last topic of our news stuff before we get into callers, so hang tight. This one is not for Twitch. It's actually for YouTube, but I think it's still good to talk about because a lot of us will put stuff on YouTube afterwards, so it kind of affects us there too. YouTube has basically started saying recently that the channel that uploads the video, you are responsible for your comment section now, which has kind of come under fire a lot recently. I think this just got put out over the past couple days or so, or even this morning. So I know MemoriiCard put out a tweet about it this morning. Do you have some thoughts to share about it?
Yeah. Can I jump in with a little bit of background information about the whole situation?
Sure.
Yeah, so I don't know how familiar everybody is, but essentially some guy made a YouTube video exposing a bunch of creepy comments on like children's videos, essentially. And as opposed to handling it by reporting the videos, reporting the comments, and getting that taken care of, he got a little bit of a good following off of that and was live streaming, telling everybody to go report it to the advertisers. So now there's a bunch of companies pulling ads from YouTube videos, and their immediate response has been now to demonetize videos based on comment sections. So far, it's only been for explicit comments towards underage people for the most part, but I think it's a really bad precedent to set that really, if your comment section is less than ideal, that you can lose essentially your livelihood as a YouTuber, and like who knows if that's going to expand out into community guideline strikes or anything else down the line. I think it's just ridiculous. It's like when Twitch streamers get banned for their community going and harassing somebody after they host them or something like that. There's been several examples of that, and no matter how good intention you are, or no matter how much you outwardly express that you don't like that kind of behavior, ultimately I can't control what anybody else does in my community. I can get them out of my community, but I can't control what they do on any platform I'm on.
Yeah, I think.
So,
sorry, go ahead, Diasean.
to make sure I understand, okay, because
Mhm.
I want to be sure that I'm clear on this. Say you've got a YouTuber like, oh, I don't know, TRUgaming. They put up their stream, they have it up there, it's in place, and there's some comments going down, and about 450 comments down, someone throws in some neo-Nazi stuff and a bunch of hateful speech in it, and suddenly TRUgaming finds themselves without a dime coming off the video because something buried so far down, the only way they could find it was to full-time become a comment monitor. What?
Essentially,
That's
yeah.
horrible.
So you're going to have to invest even more time than creating the videos themselves, monitoring your comment section. Or
Sanity.
I would not be astonished in the least bit if you see a bunch of YouTubers disabling their comment section for the time being.
I 100%
Maybe.
would.
I mean, so Pint-Sized Phoenix in the chat said that Twitch has kind of done the same thing with saying streamers are responsible for who's in your stream. But I don't think it's quite the same, because during that time you're streaming, like, you're there watching the chat the whole time, or you're responsible for that. You have mods, whatever. If you upload a YouTube video, that's up there 24/7, 365. Like, if someone comments something, maybe you're on vacation, maybe you're wherever, you're away from the computer, how can you really be responsible for that? I mean, that's really tricky, especially with just how entrenched that kind of stuff is on YouTube now. And like Diasean said, some of these huge channels that get hundreds of thousands of comments, I mean, how are you going to go through and find all the bad ones? It's a little bit crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you have to have so many of them to, flag it. But yeah, hundreds of thousands. I mean, 1,000 of them is 1%, and it's really not unrealistic to think that the YouTuber themselves might not even see those comments, even if they are trying to actively look for them. So it's
Okay, so I know that in Twitch, right, your Twitch chat, there can be times where someone says something inappropriate. You can set up mod tools that catch certain words, ban that statement, and it's free and clear. Does YouTube have that? Because I don't post anything to YouTube, so I don't know.
They do.
So you can trigger certain words that, like, if you see this, get it gone, or give me a flag, or give me a warning, so it can help ease the burden. But still,
Yeah, but there's a lot of words
volume
that
comments
wouldn't get caught by a filter. That would still be, like, if you read the comment altogether, it would be appalling. Like, you'll see people do it on Twitch where you can have any, like, big buzzwords that will automatically trigger a ban, but you can still say something terrible, or you can use, like, numbers instead of letters, and there's all sorts of stuff like that, for sure.
I've seen people make pictures. If you look at any big streamers chat, between backslashes and stuff, you can see pictures of parts of people's bodies I don't want to look at in my Twitch chat.
If it's any consolation, just tell them what an excellent thumb you've got and move on.
All right. With that, I think we're ready to move into calls. So the first caller is LilCal10. Now, guys, again, callers get priority on this show. So make sure, if you want to get on the show, that you jump into the StreamKey server and join one of the the join here caller room. I'll send you a friend request and we'll pull you onto the show when we're ready. So LilCal's up first. If you guys want to be up next, make sure you jump in there. And I will go ahead and try to add Little Cal to the call in a sec here. Accept my friend request here, hopefully. Mr. Lil Cow. There you go. Okay. And adding him right now. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Lil Cow? How are you?
How's it going? I'm pretty good. How are y'all?
Good, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yep.
So, what do you want to chat about today?
I recently got affiliated in January.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Appreciate it. And I'm having problems pulling in viewers. So I was wondering if there was like a trick, because I stream a lot of different games, and I'm usually low on the thing. I was wondering if there was a way, like as far as advertisement or just playing all the time, how to pull in as many viewers as I can so that they can enjoy the content that I create and I can have fun with a bunch of people chatting in my chat.
Yeah, I think everybody in here could probably give you a good a tip or two, but if it's all right, I'd like to jump in with my 2 cents if that's cool.
Sure, go for it, man.
All right, yeah, absolutely. So, especially as a new streamer, variety streaming with a bunch of different games, which is what I do as well, is going to be the path of most resistance going forward. So, I mean, it's definitely a harder path. It's very rewarding, though, if you can do it, as you're not locked into anything. So congratulations on your affiliate, and definitely keep doing that if that's what you want to do. I would definitely suggest scheduling some time just into your week to spend time networking. For example, the TRUgaming Discord has hundreds, if not thousands, of streamers in it as well. Networking outside of Twitch and making genuine connections and friends, especially early on, are what's going to get people in your stream chatting and interacting with you. A lot more than just being live, as you said, towards the bottom of the browse page.
That's
Awesome.
the real kick there, I think. Making friends. And I don't mean going into streamers chat and going, hey, I stream too. No. Like getting to know people. Like Velik and I, we talk to each other. Sometimes I'm in his stream, sometimes he's in mine. We're not there simply because of the fact that we know each other through True. We hang out, we talk in the streams. There were times where I'll go and I'll do a stream and someone who has seen me in another stream will come over because they enjoyed some of the stuff that they saw me type at that point in time. Making those friend connections is where it comes from. Because it's one thing to be a streamer who's playing a game. Oh, I can look for a streamer easy enough. But my friend is playing a game. Let me go see him.
Mm-hmm.
Or her.
Yeah. Vel, you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah. So networking or making connections is huge. Another thing is try to do things on other platforms, whether it's social media or YouTube, something like that. Something that will help you get discovered, because it's really hard to get discovered on Twitch. There's not really like they're just now starting to get like smaller channels, like where like they'll just pick smaller channels and they'll show them on your homepage. But that's really not as effective as I think what streamers need, especially that early on. So honestly, the biggest thing is to just realize that you're going to have to grind it out for a while, and you just have to make the best of whatever viewers you can get, if any. And if you can't get any viewers, just try to have as much fun with it as possible until you start, getting the chat, and you just have to keep talking, whether there's people in there to talk to or not. Like tell some stories to nobody if you have to. It's what I did when I started. You have to find something to talk about, because if you're sitting there not saying anything, they're going to give you 5 seconds, and if you're not saying anything within that amount of time, they're gone. That's usually how it works with the average Twitch viewer. So it's just a grind.
Just to further support that, I don't know everybody's journey specifically that's in this call right now, but I can say personally that for months and months, I had 0 viewers until I finally had 1 viewer because I realized my phone counted. So you're on the right track. There's not a single person here that hasn't gone through exactly that. So don't necessarily feel like you're doing anything wrong, because that's probably not the case.
Right. There's really no tricks or fast tracks to getting viewers or anything like that. And honestly, in my opinion, I wouldn't want any kind of fast track, because anything worth doing is kind of worth, taking your time with it. So just let it happen organically and just have fun with it and put a lot of passion and, a lot of sweat into it, because it's worth it if you can put the time in.
Yep. And 2 things I'll mention on, because Local, you mentioned, should you be streaming a lot, just as much as you can, and also advertising. So on the topic of streaming, I think you should be careful not to understream and not to overstream. So you're going to have to stream to grow. That's what your brand is. But you probably don't need to stream as much as you think. Like you probably don't need to stream for 7 days a week, 5 days a week. You can cut that down and use those extra days to do like YouTube or networking, like these guys have said. I think overall, way too many streamers spend too much time streaming and not enough time off stream doing things like networking and YouTube and etc. And for advertising, because we've gotten this question a lot, and there were people here in the stream asking about it before we started. Paid advertising actually can work. We've been testing it with this account, and if you guys are in the chat, probably a good number of you are here because of the paid advertising. So it will work, but it's expensive. So if that's an option for you, you can do it. It takes a lot of tweaking and trial and error. Just know that, for most people, it's probably a more effective option to network and make more content, things like that. So does that kind of answer your question overall?
Yes, sir. That helps a lot. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, like I
Awesome,
said, if
man.
you ever need any other questions or support, feel free to hop in the TRUgaming Discord. Everybody there is super supportive.
Yeah, I'm actually in it. I got accepted into the affiliate program yesterday.
Well,
Oh, congrats, man.
Congratulations and welcome to the
Double
family.
congrats.
Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Sweet, man. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate
Yep,
you.
y'all have a good one.
You
Have a
too,
good one,
man. All right. So we are going to go to another caller who's on deck. So let me jump in the Discord really quickly. Send a friend request to Twinkie Talks. Okay. Twinkie's been here before a number of times. So I will add Twinkie to the call. And guys, remember, callers get the priority. So if you're asking text questions, we'll get to those once we're through callers. Just keep that in mind. All right. So I'm going to add Twinkie right now. See if we can get a call from Twinkie. Hello, Twinkie? Hello? Hey, there you are. How's it going?
It's going really well. I am so hyped right now about this Stardew Twitch Rivals tournament. You do not know. I don't know if everybody knows. I mainly stream Stardew, and this is amazing for that game because I don't know how to get their attention, but Twitch Rivals, if you're watching this, just come at me. But anyways, that's not the question. I'm sorry. So I don't know if you guys know about this, but there are communities out there, kind of there's one that is really famous. It's called Royale Streamers, where basically the premise is that you're part of these communities and they have points, and then you go lurk in other people's channels and chats and you get points, and that's why they will bump you up and all their lurkers will come to you. And I mean, I don't see the point of that, but a lot of people have been growing using that. What are you guys' opinions on that, basically?
Yeah.
It's not.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's not really I don't know. I'm a huge fan of just doing things organically. Any sort of thing where there's a hierarchy of your points and the points judge if you get rated or hosted or anything like that. I don't like that because those people are literally only in your just to get points. They're not there for you. So in my opinion, I wouldn't be doing anything like that. I mean, if people want to, that's totally fine. It's their thing. But me, I really enjoy the slow, organic, and just real growth.
Yeah, I know. MemoriiCard, you have thoughts too?
Yeah. So I'm actually familiar with the exact group you were mentioning. I saw some people tweeting about it and gave it a look. Networking, building connections, good. Joining communities that favor the people who make them and really just work to grow their channels, very, very bad. Which, whether they make it seem like that or not, is what well over 90% of these communities are doing. If something seems like an easy way to make it as a streamer, it is probably not a good route to go. Viewers that come into your stream for points, even if they get bonus points like Royale does for chatting in your stream, they're not going to be there when they're not earning stuff for themselves from it. And viewers that are there for themselves really aren't people that I would want in my stream.
Gotcha. Diasean, you have any thoughts on this?
Since we first talked last year, my mindset has always been a case of friends. It's better to have a network of 5 or 6 people who you can rely on, even if it's just 5 or 6 people in your chat who are there all the time, than to have 100 people who don't give a about you. You like my self-censoring? Because I've got a teenager. So what it comes down to here is that as long as you can rely on a few people in general, and I don't mean just for your stream, I mean for life in general, it's always easier to face things. The same goes for being in Twitch. So I would much rather have a network of people I can personally trust, that I can rely on, than a bunch of people who aren't there. I mean, if you really want a high number of people who you don't care about and probably aren't actually there are games you can stream where you get this high number of bots, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It looks great, but there's no one talking, and that almost hurts worse than having 3 people and one of them's you.
Yeah, that's also definitely worth mentioning, especially the way that Royale Streamers does it with their point system, or any other community, not to specifically target them, that does something like that. You're essentially earning a free view bot. And not only will that not help you genuinely grow, but whenever you go down the line for getting partnered or anything like that, once you eventually do make it to that point, Twitch is really solid at detecting that, and that'll look no different than if you were to go on some Google search and pay a bunch of money for a view bot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And going back to what Velox said earlier, there are a lot of communities out there, that are really sort of to benefit the top streamer. And it's tough to know right away. I think you kind of have to be in there for a while to realize what's happening. And I think in general, a good way to get a sense of it is seeing how long the community lasts. It feels like there's a lot of communities that pop up that are like can help you go really fast on Twitch, and they have all this stuff, and then 2 months later they're totally gone and they disappeared. So if you see communities that have been there for years and years, that's probably a good sign that there's something working there, and it's not just a scam that people figure out after a while, I would say. Would you guys agree with that?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just natural if you make a community. Obviously, you have your best intentions in mind at all. We're all trying to grow. So, I mean, there are some out there that are genuine. Obviously, we promote our true partners, and our staff sit at the top of our Discord list, as they should. But we also show a huge amount of support to everybody else in here, and don't incentivize lurking and not giving a crap about the streams.
Mm-hmm. Right, absolutely. And we've pretty laid out the method of how we show support to people in the Discord. Mm-hmm. So cool.
And don't forget, of course, there was the communities. They used to be there. The smaller communities, they took a major hit when the community tags went away, and it's not like you can create another tag to let that come back into place. So a lot of the smaller communities, they're trying to find alternative ways to maintain what they used to be, right? Yeah. True had a great big huge community, partially because of the way that you guys run stuff. That helped keep it together when that came across.
Yep, for sure. Cool. Twiggy Talks, any other thoughts or follow-up questions to add?
Well, I had this discussion with someone else, like this exact discussion, and I think the kind of, we were trying to think what the positive side would this be. And what we came up with is, I think I mentioned this in the Discord once too, that a lot of people, when we go on Twitch, we're always going directly to our follow tab. And like, we're not looking for new people anymore. We're just seeing, these are the people I follow. Oh, that guy's streaming. Okay, I'm just going to go and hang out with him. So maybe a positive way to use one of these communities is that you use them as a suggestion to meet and network with new people, not necessarily going to the topmost guy. But if maybe there was a community that didn't have that ranking system, but like just like these are streamers in this community, go and see them and maybe you'd like them. Maybe that would be a better way to implement something like this.
Oh yeah, and to elaborate, there are definitely communities that are good for growth. It's definitely our statements regarding false growth and reasons to avoid that are definitely not expressed towards every community out there, because some good ones are definitely out there. And I think the best way to do that is get a platform to give a brief description of what you are, or what you do, who you are, etc. And yeah, I mean, if you want to network and find streamers like that, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'd say, I don't know, to me that is an issue that is created because of something missing on Twitch. Like, I feel like a community shouldn't have to do the discovery feature for you. That's something that Twitch needs to improve on, like having a way to find a new person. It seems like the community has to band-aid this issue that is, I think, probably one of the biggest issues on Twitch, is like you mentioned, people go to their following tab to find people. They get in their ways, and there's not really a great way. Like, if you want to go find a new person, you have to go through each directory, then scroll down, then find, like, there needs to be a better system to find something. Yeah, stream kick, or even, I think literally just having like a random stream button on the front page or something would do a lot more for you. Just make it more fun for people to want to find new people. That's a big problem with Twitch, and you can get around it with communities. That's a cool thing you can do if you are a community, but I feel like ultimately that should be solved by Twitch.
You're absolutely right. And I don't really prefer personally to be in larger streams. I like a more intimate sit down, have a conversation with somebody. I like to interact very much with my streams. I don't like to just sit there and watch. I know a lot of people do, but I spend so much time on the browse page clicking a game, scrolling, waiting for Twitch to load more streams, scrolling until I get down under X amount of viewers to find people, and it's a pain for me who is actively trying to do it, let alone people who aren't,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, perfect.
Cool, Twinkie. Well, thank you for calling in, man. Appreciate that. You there?
All right, see you guys later.
All right, see you, man. Thanks again. All right, so we have another caller ready to go. I'm gonna hop in the Stream Key Discord and get Prince Athos 646, who I think has been on here as well before, or I recognize the name. So give me 1 second here to add them into the call. Oh, they need to accept my friend request first, it looks like. There's so many things on, there we go, add friend. So yeah, Prince Athos, accept my friend request and we'll add you to the call, man. And then we should get into this. By the way, okay, there you go. So you got it. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. We do this every single Friday. And, we just lost Velok. No! Please come back. All right. Prince Athos is going to come in next. Oh, Velok's back too. Cool. All right. Prince, you there?
Hello,
Prince?
yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for calling in today. What do you want to chat about?
What's up, man?
Well, from the other Twiki talks, the community, see how I got affiliated last year pretty quick using that method, but I feel like using that method to get views and all that isn't the greatest.
Gotcha.
I feel like it kind of screws up your potential, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, see, like you guys were explaining just now, like you don't actually get viewers, so you don't actually get a community.
Mm-hmm.
Right, absolutely. That's kind of the same thing we had just said. But
so yeah, I mean, wait, I'm lost. Sorry.
It's just because you get someone who'll come in and view because of the fact that their community said, hey, go watch this guy because we told you to. You're not getting a community base. You're not getting the foundation that lets you get the rest of it that comes up from us.
Absolutely. And you kind of hit the nail on the head. Twitch does sort of incentivize it with their affiliate requirements being so low. Right. All the bad practices for Twitch, follow for follow, those communities that give you fake viewers. Whether they're real people or bots, they're fake viewers, and that's what I'm going to refer to them as. And it's a really easy thing to get tempted into. And at the end of the day, everybody, I think, is super tempted by the idea of, I can make money doing this. But if you get affiliate that way and nobody subs to you, you're not making money. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And by the time you genuinely hit those affiliate requirements, 50 followers, 3 average viewers, or whatever, you're probably more likely to get a few subs as soon as you get that sub button. Anyway, if you do it all the right way.
Yeah. No, exactly. That's pretty much what happened to me last year. Like, I got affiliated using the lurk for lurk and follow for follow. Mm-hmm. And then my laptop died, so I restarted like 2 weeks ago. But I feel like doing the lurk for lurk and follow for follow kind of, screw me over in the long run.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, just to elaborate on what I was saying, did you get any subs after you got affiliate?
I think I got one from one of my buddies, but that's it. But
so it was a personal friend?
Yeah, but also, like I said, I stopped streaming after I did a 24-hour when I got affiliated, and like during that night, my laptop died on me, so I had to stop streaming.
Gotcha. I mean, it sounds like you're still early enough on into it to where nothing's really going to affect your potential. It's never too late to change the way that you're doing things and to start grinding stuff out more naturally. So I would definitely say you didn't like shoot yourself in the foot long term by any means. I think if anything, it might be demotivating to have had those viewers and then come back and not have them because you're looking for real viewers, not fake ones anymore.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think while it might be a little demotivating, I don't think you've really done anything to negatively impact the rest of your stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, man. Any other follow-up questions or thoughts?
Well, another question. Since most of you are either partnered or affiliated, what programs do you suggest using to either make your sub badges or your emotes?
Well, so I'll kind of tweak your question a little bit for you, if that's all right. So, Vel, Diasean, MemoriiCard, do you guys make your emotes and badges, or do you commission them from other people? Okay, MemoriiCard, thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would love to be able to make my emotes. I'm not nearly good enough at graphic design to do so. If you are talented enough to do that, then you've probably already got all the software and programs you need to do it. If you are not in the best position wallet-wise, check out Fiverr. You can get emotes commissioned for next to nothing, $10-15 for an emote. And as an affiliate, your tier 1 emote's going to be probably the only one that gets used for months and months anyway. So you only need one.
Yeah, and keep in mind with emotes in particular, that's kind of like you get a return on investment each time you get a sub. So, you know, if you pay $10 for an emote and you get 4 subs, that emote just paid for itself. So that's a good way to think about that too, because you're also putting yourself in a position where you'll have a better quality thing for your subscribers, and you won't have to go get a new one a month or 2 down the road when you get tired of the one that you kind of just stumbled together with what you had.
Right. That goes hand in hand with the sub badges as well, as just giving people more incentive to subscribe to you. So it's definitely good to get them if you are planning on taking streaming seriously.
Yeah, when I first started, I hit up Fiverr. I got my emotes for $20 for the package of 3.
There you go.
And it included a bunch of revisions as part of it. Now, keep in mind, Fiverr is people who are doing it kind of part on the side. If, on the other hand, you actually go to a dedicated artist for doing it, which you can find through a bunch of the different communities you go into, that's not the prices you'll be looking at in that scenario. Those people, it's their job, right? So when you do those kind of commission jobs, they will charge more, but they are also going to be a bit more reachable in regards to getting your stuff sorted out. So it's kind of a cost versus the benefit idea of what you're going for. So if you don't have much, Fiverr is fantastic. It'll get you started, get your foot in the door. And if at some point down the road you decide you want to punch it up a notch, that's when you start talking to these other artists. But be aware, you'd, like was mentioned earlier on, you'd be paying for what you're getting. So have an idea in your head. So you've got something to work with. Don't just go, give me an emote. What one?
For sure.
Okay.
Vel, any thoughts?
I got really lucky because I'd already kind of established somewhat of a community by the time that I needed any emotes or any sub badges. So I was able to have friends help me out with those because I know that I'm not as creative of a person as it comes to when it comes to stuff like that. So I know that I don't trust myself to do anything like that. I kind of had an idea for what I wanted with most of the things, and I just had some friends help me out with actually bringing it to life, essentially.
Gotcha. And I will mention really quickly, like I said last week, it is a good idea just to get something out there, especially with emotes, just to make something that's better than nothing. And then you can always, it's a pretty quick turnaround time for taking down your emote and putting it back up like a day or 2. So while you should get a good emote, it's not a bad idea to put something as a placeholder in the meantime. And then maybe people end up liking that anyway. So I'd recommend that too. But any other thoughts about that, man?
No.
All right. Well, thank you for calling, man. Appreciate that.
My pleasure. You guys have a good rest of the stream. I'll be in chat.
Thanks, man.
You too, man.
Good one, man.
Thank you. All right. We have one more caller. Well, not one more. We have another caller to go through now, who is the British Avenger, I believe. Such a cool name. So I just added a friend, British Avenger. Let's go add him into the call right now. Perfect. Extended the friend request. On it, man. I love it. All right, adding it to the call right now. Hello, British, you there?
I love the image.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Speaking of good branding. Avenger, you around?
Hi.
Hey, there you are. How's it going?
Doing good.
Awesome, man. What do you want to talk about in the show today?
I wanted to talk about like how people say networking is like kind of the way get noticed and that, and of course living in the UK, like my only option is really like branching out like British streamers and that, but I find it hard to get along with British people, especially streamers, and I don't know why that's the case, but I can connect more with American streamers more for some reason.
Well,
but my
sorry.
main problem is the time zones is a big problem, because like when they go live it's like midnight for me, so it puts me in a kind of like annoying place.
Well, so I have a question. Why do you, I know you mentioned time zones, but I don't think that you have to be in the same time zone to network with that person. Right. Especially because, I mean, like right now, it's what, 5 o'clock for you? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like there are morning streamers in the US who have a better time zone you could overlap with. So I don't think that you necessarily need to lock yourself into only streaming with people who are in the exact same time zone as you. If there's maybe kind of a complementary time zone, like maybe sometimes it's kind of cool to go to your off schedule for collaboration. So if you stream in the morning, someone else streams at night, that's kind of a cool time to collab, because then you can send viewers to the other person while you're not live and stuff like that. Have you thought about that at all? Avenger, you there?
Yeah.
Or I don't know, Bell, Diasean, you guys have thoughts about
yeah,
networking?
I mean, I've definitely networked with people from Australia, and they're 14 hours ahead of me, but they stream at their very late night time slot. But for me, it's early in the morning. And so it's just a matter of seeing if you can connect with, that person. If you can connect with that person well, then you'll probably be able to connect with their viewers for the most part, or at least some of them. And hopefully you can have a couple of them by the time that person ends their stream. They're not done watching Twitch yet and want to go find somebody else, and might want to move on to watching your channel after theirs is, offline for the day. So it's just a matter of just finding the right streamers that are streaming at the right time. They don't have to be the same time zone by any means. Like 14 hours ahead of me is a huge difference. But still able to find some of those people to come and check out the channel every once in a while. It's just a matter of, just connecting with that streamer, and then hopefully connecting with their fans.
Right, for sure.
The wonderful thing about the internet is that any minute you turn it on, there's someone else on it. I mean, Twitch is a prime example. No matter what time you go to look at Twitch, there's streamers at work. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to find someone that is based on geography or time zone. You can look for people like they mentioned. You can find streamers who are either on the opposite end of the spectrum for you or relatively close to it. So instead of looking for UK streamers, US streamers, if you start at 7 o'clock and you go looking for a streamer at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, your time, right? And you find someone who is streaming at that point in time, and you start talking with them in regards to this concept of growing. That is a potential thought to keep in mind. But if it's someone who you enjoy watching and you like watching their stream and you're available to watch them at that point in time, then you're still winning, even if they don't end up ultimately being someone who goes to your stream after the fact because of time zones. As long as you don't look at other streamers who are on there as some sort of ticket to your next tier.
Right.
That's really the trick to it. Don't look at every streamer you see here as another step, another platform up to where you want to be. Find streamers you want to watch. Find streamers you have in common with. Maybe you both play the same game. Maybe you start watching a streamer, you enjoy their sense of humor, and you think that that's the same kind of sense of humor you have. Interacting in that chat, then the people who are there with it will also get to know you. And again, you make the friends, time zone or not, it's fitting in because schedule-wise for you, you have that ability to talk to them. Instead of locking down by geography, view people based upon availability.
Mm-hmm. Cool. MemoriiCard, any last thoughts here?
Yeah. Just real quick. I've got a couple friends that I play games with. I wouldn't say that we really ever stream together. That are UK based, both of them out of Liverpool. I've also got a friend out in Scotland, and we play together rather regularly. And I don't think I think it's very, very possible to network with somebody without necessarily streaming the game with them and connect with them. And I think that's going to be the one thing. The one limitation to your time zone is obviously, can you stream at the same time as them and network that way? Which really I find much more beneficial to make connections outside with, whether it be Twitter, Discord, in their stream chat or whatever. Them potentially hosting you somewhere down the line as a friend is significantly more beneficial than if you were to stream the same game with them at the same time anyway, in most cases. So I think it's almost nicer to find somebody slightly out of your schedule for streaming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Having like a complementary schedule is nice because then you're not clashing. Cool. Avenger, is there anything that can help you maybe think through that a little bit more, or any other questions you have?
No other questions for your time.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in, man. Appreciate that. Good topic. We haven't had that before.
See you, man.
Cool.
Yeah, I never actually think that way because I know streamers from Australia, the Philippines, Poland, Scotland, like Pint Size there. She's from Scotland. Like all these people that are scattered across the country. I never think about where they are, just when they are.
Right.
Like, if I look at noon, I'm going to see Pint Size, for example. If I look at the early morning slot, like 8, 9 o'clock. Oh, look, coffee with.
Yep.
Hello, Alec.
Hello.
Absolutely.
So you get the point. You find the people based upon when you would like to watch someone. I mean,
and that's what's really cool too, because it's a global platform. You can find people at any time of the day too. Very, very cool.
And theoretically, if you're playing with someone who's out in Europe and they're willing to stay up late, or you're willing to get up early, you can have that overlap where you actually get to play games with these people. And I tell you, you want to learn about a person, play a multiplayer game where someone's hanging on the line.
Any multiplayer game at this point.
Yeah, right. I can't believe you got me killed.
I'm
not playing with you
multiplayer
anymore.
game. You mean Stardew Valley BR?
Oh, yeah. Stardew Valley BR, you're going to see some people. You'll be able to really separate the wheat from that.
It's a
your
friendship
friends from
ender.
those who steal your carrots.
All right, so we got a question up next from the chat. It's from Stelterfish, which is kind of a cool question. He said, do you think the Twitch ads have driven down the platform traffic a bit? They definitely discourage exploring new streams. So this is the pre-rolls before you go into every stream, those 30-second, most of the time, ads that you get. Do you guys think that has driven down people watching Twitch overall who are just seeing the ad and leaving?
I'm sure we all have the same, or at least a similar opinion on that, so I'll pass that off. I feel like I've talked a bunch already.
Okay. Velok, what are your thoughts?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but if you're really going out and trying to look for other content creators that you enjoy, the 30-second wait for an ad isn't really that bad. And honestly, especially on a computer, I'll have multiple tabs open. So if I get an ad on one, I'll be watching Tim the Tatman on the other one, so that one will just get muted temporarily, and I'll just watch Tim the Tatman for the 30-second ad.
Right.
I don't think it's too big of a deal, and you have to remember that they have to make money somehow. You know, I mean, they're making money in plenty of different ways right now, but it's still a business, and 30-second of ad like isn't really that bad when it comes to trying to find an entertaining content creator.
I can't afford to sub to everyone I watch, right? So there's a lot of times when I'm going to go to a channel and I'm going to get an ad. It is, for want of a better word, as a viewer, it is the quote-unquote cost of doing business, right? 30 seconds of my life or 45 seconds, sometimes it has a little skip button. It's lovely. I love that button.
Rarely now, yeah.
Yeah, rarely, but it still exists. And so when I go to a streamer who I'm not sub to, I expect it. I'm ready for it. It's going to be a thing. If I raid into someone who I don't actually watch, like I don't subscribe to, I'm going to be looking at the ad for that as well, and I will wait until after that ad before I put in my little raid message. I mean, just because I don't personally have the money to go, I love your stuff, doesn't mean the fact that I don't love their stuff. And even your simple presence is a huge bonus for the person who's watching, streaming.
Yeah, I want to.
So it's never been a thing to drive me away. Hell, I used to hit the sub button, like the little watch the ad button that used to be on the bit thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still there, but I don't know about anyone else. It hasn't worked for me in like 14 months. Like I click and it's like, no ads available at this time. You've watched enough. I've watched none since freaking January of 2017. Bug off. But when they were giving bits, I watched ads willingly. When I'm going to see a stream, I'm going to watch that ad willingly because it's something that keeps the platform active. Yes, they're taking a cut out of every money stream that's coming their way, but if their 30-second ad means I don't have to pay a monthly subscription to watch before I even subscribe to someone, I'll take the win.
For sure. Now, I want to add on a second thought to this question. So as streamers, if you're trying to kind of make your rounds networking, do the ads impact that? Because I'll say from my own experience, I am less patient with networking now. And I know, like, maybe that's a flaw, but seeing so many ads, because I have a habit of, if I have time, I'll jump into like 5 channels and just kind of go into each one and say hi. But having those ads, if you're going through multiple channels and like another ad, eventually it just burns me out and I stop doing it. So I think the ads have actually probably decreased my networking willingness a little bit. Have you guys felt that at all, or is it not really impacted you there?
Yeah, I think I actually stand a tad bit corrected, where I do have the similar mindset of any free-to-use service out there that you're not paying for a product, you are that product. And in this case, you're watching, ads before streams. As far as finding new streamers, because like I said, I sit there and scroll down to the bottom of the browse list all the time. Spend several minutes just looking for one to click on. God forbid I don't like them after the 30-second ad. I'm not clicking on somebody else after that. So, I mean, it definitely does turn me off to it. I don't mind supporting the platform. I do mind in a 20-minute period of trying to network, spending 10 of it watching ads.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that. Like, if you're going through a bunch of channels and maybe you're spending 20 seconds just deciding if you want to watch someone, because I think that's pretty fair with Twitch. You spend 30 seconds to watch 20 seconds of someone's channel, and then you do the same thing over and over. And like, you're spending more time watching ads than the stream at that point. And at some point, that's probably going to get to you.
It's also backtracking to the bits thing. If I were to be able to watch ads for bits more consistently and actually be able to reward myself, or I guess more accurately, reward whoever I'd like to help as a streamer, no problem whatsoever. Twitch already takes a cut of every subscription, every bits donation, and there are other services that take cuts of direct donations to people. So it's really, I don't know, when an affiliate gets a pre-roll ad that makes me not want to watch their channel and they benefit nothing out of it. Yeah, it's a little bit discouraging at times.
It's tricky because it's all going into Twitch. That. So
yeah, and of course I don't mind supporting them, but there seems like there could be better ways, or like up the amount of ads for bits I'm allowed to watch. At one point I was able to get 600 bits in one setting. Never again since then.
Oh, I miss those days. Like, I would go into a chat and I'd be like, you know what? I got a good ad today. Bits for all of you.
Yes.
Something tells me if they did away with that system, it wasn't working very well. So I don't know that we'll see it return. But yeah, I don't know. I think we can all agree that there's too many ads on Twitch for the viewer experience. I know that it's a free platform and they have to keep it running, but I would definitely say, to go back to Stilter's question, that the ads do impact the viewer experience. Because on YouTube at this point, the vast majority of ads are either 5 seconds or skippable ads. But on Twitch, the vast majority is 30-second ads that you cannot skip. And that, I think it definitely impacts the viewing experience, especially for new people who maybe are used to YouTube and now go, I can't skip this ad. I have to sit here for 30 seconds. It's not worth it. I'll go back to YouTube. I don't know. Just sort of my thoughts.
As a counter to that, I'll point out that if you switch to another stream, you're going to another ad. One could argue that that particular ad blockade, if you will, if you want to put it that way, It means that when you go into a stream, you don't waste 20 seconds. You give them a couple of minutes. That's what I do when I go into a stream. I go in and I wait for a couple of minutes to get a feel for the person, because maybe I've caught them at a moment that's not their best. We all have those, right? So maybe I come off in, and at the time I've come in, he's just been caught, and he's going, "How is that even a headshot? Like, what even happened there?" Right? Like, how did they kill me in one bullet? I've said it myself. Like, I thought I got shot with one bullet, and then I see the replay, and it was like a machine gun frame. Like, oh, well, that's awkward. Forget my rage earlier, lads. A little salt, it's good for the meal. But by spending a minute or two in there, you get a better feel for who a person is. So maybe instead of thinking it as a block for when you've gone into it, it's more as a reminder to stay for a minute instead.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's
though,
a very positive outlook.
Well, let's be honest. The ads aren't going away. And
Yeah,
so
for
very
sure.
often the spin that your mind puts on a thing impacts the way that it affects you.
Mhm.
So if you think to yourself, "Oh my God, I've got to go see another fucking ad. I'm done for the day." That's a horrible way to go for it, especially if you enjoy watching Twitch. I mean, how many times have you met someone because you decided, you know what, feck it, I'm going to click. I didn't know Velik before I went through True. I was in True. I saw their spam channel. I was like, all right, let's go take a look. I went into the announcements channel. I was like, oh, look at this. And then I saw the streaming thing, and I clicked on it, and it showed me a True streamer, and I was like, he started 2 minutes ago. This is worth it. And I pop into this exuberant fellow chucking a ball into a net on his door frame. I'm like, what the hell is this? Is he a sports guy?
That
Well, I
may
do
be the
think,
case.
just to further. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think the problem with that argument is that you're coming at it from a streamer's perspective and not a viewer's perspective.
Yeah.
So, like, as streamers, we know, it's a long-term thing, right? We're going to have downtime. We're going to have periods where you're not your usual self. But as a viewer, especially if you're new to Twitch and you're not used to that, maybe you're more used to YouTube and you see that, I think it's a much shorter decision-making window for that. Is that, would you guys agree with that?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And just I saw something in the chat that sparked a thought, just to backtrack to incentivizing people to watch ads more than, viewing it as something like that. It is worth mentioning that obviously YouTube and Google are going to have a lot more leeway and negotiating power when it comes to ad rates and whatnot. But from what I've been informed by several partners, the ad rates on here are next to none. And there's just, I don't know, even partnered streamers are a bit upset for the most part when people click off their stream or get discouraged regarding it. And it's, YouTube ads are skippable and you get paid more.
Yeah, I think we'll see more of kind of the traditional sponsorship ad stuff in the future, because that way the streamer is more involved in it and has a say and generally is actually interested in the thing that's being advertised, and not, here's just this random brand we're going to slap on your stream that you know nothing about. Enjoy.
Ultimately, as long as Ninja and Pokemon get off my ads, then I have no complaints.
That's a whole other topic that we talked about before.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Stilcher, thanks for the question, man. Appreciate that. We are going to jump into another caller, who is Singent Steel, the resident Mountain Dew. This guy once brought 4 cases of 64 cans of Mountain Dew to us, and it's still here to this day, like 2 years later. So we're going to add Singent Steel into the call right now, see if he's ready to go. Hello? Singent, you there?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, man?
Let me mute the stream.
You're good, man.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh. Yeah, well, long time listener, first time caller. So I was wondering, last year I started streaming, and it took me a week exactly to get affiliated through networking, talking to new people, just sharing all of my information with people that I was just randomly playing games with. And started off really good, got a lot of followers really quick, and then real life got in the way, and I kind of had to step back, take a break, move to night shift, just work stuff got in the way. And since I kind of took a hiatus, I'm trying to start streaming somewhat normally again, or somewhat regularly again. And the motivation, I guess, just isn't really there because I'm not getting the same energy that I was before when I first started streaming. You know what I mean? So I was just wondering how you guys stay motivated through like rough patches, I guess, if you have.
Man. All right.
I'm gonna tee this up for Vel. This is his perfect question here.
I had the same thing happen to me like 6 months after I first started streaming. I was streaming CSGO and things were going really well, and then I had to take a couple weeks off to do some military stuff, and I came back and I had lost all of my viewers that I had gotten, and that was like the first time I had ever like really seen any sort of like real defeat. You know what I mean? Like things are going great, you think everything is fine and dandy, and then you come back and then everybody's gone.
Yeah.
So it took me like a few months to really like kick my ass back into gear. Like I'm sure you could ask anybody at TRUgaming that's been there since back then, that I was very inconsistent during that time. I was super unmotivated to do anything. Sometimes I would stream 1 day a week. And so it really comes down to, do you really want to make streaming your thing? And you just have to kick your ass into gear and just do it, even though there's no real immediate benefit of doing it. You know what I mean? Like it's more of a long game than it is a right now kind of immediate feedback. So it took me like maybe 3 months to get to 15 viewers when I first started and I was playing CSGO. And then when I got back into it in January of 2017, I streamed that whole year for 2 to 7 viewers on average, the whole year. It was so much more difficult the second time around, but you just have to do it, man. If it's what you want to do, just do it. There's really no other way to put it. It's a grind and it's not always fun, but if you want it, if you want streaming to be your thing, then you have to make streaming your thing, whether it's fun or not.
Yeah, it's so the reason actually that I stream is because I just like meeting new people, you know. And I like people seeing my face, I guess. As weird as it is to hear.
It's a nice face.
Thank you.
Ooh, I do like your trim. I didn't even look at the picture.
Yeah. That was while I was deployed. That was a picture from a month or so before I even started streaming at all, actually. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I still enjoy it. I have fun every time I do stream. It's just I don't know how to get people to come have fun with me. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, if you're consistent with your stream schedules and you're just having as much fun and being, you know, just your normal self and not trying to put on an act or anything, because people can see when you're faking your fun. So just enjoy every second of it, be as consistent as possible, and just try to make friends, man. Those are the three main things when it comes to keeping people in your channels: be real, be consistent, and just enjoy it.
Yeah, just to throw another kind of supporting story out there. First of all, thank you very much you mentioned deployed. Thank you for your service, and congratulations on the 1 week for affiliate.
Oh yeah, thanks.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And as far as, you know, getting demotivated and everything, I've actually been on a week hiatus right now. This is the first Twitch stream I've been on in a week. I recently got rejected for partner, and it felt like a swift kick in the gut, because my stream has done significantly better than it ever has, and it was just like, you're still not good enough kind of thing. I know it's on a different perspective of demotivation, but as a streamer, you will never be able to predict when it's going to gain traction and start to grow, and you'll never be able to predict when it just slows down for seemingly no reason. But Vel hit the nail right on the head. Consistency is the overarching theme of what will help you on Twitch. If unfortunately life comes at you and you've got to take time off, most times you will see that reflected in your metrics shortly after.
Right.
So, I mean, just get back into it. You never know when your traction is going to pick back up. It takes one person telling their friends to come in there, and then it just spirals out from there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Very cool.
One thing I'll say, motivation. It's actually something I've been thinking about a lot lately, because over the last couple of months, I took a couple of hits in real life, and it messed with me a little bit in life and in stream. So my viewer numbers, they dropped down a bit, and I'm working back up again, right?
Right.
thing about motivation is that it is a fickle, bad word. Discipline, on the other hand, you've been deployed, you know it. Discipline is you've got to do the thing. You know you've got to do the thing. You do it because it is a thing that must be done, as opposed to a thing that you would love to do. You know you're going to enjoy streaming when you do it. It's that initial get your butt in the chair, hit the button is the part that was failing you for a little bit.
Right.
So that being the case, making the pushing the button discipline part be an important part of it. It gets you into the chair so you get back to the part you enjoy. I love streaming. I've never changed that perspective on it. There have been times where I'm just like, I have not felt like I was worth hitting the button for. Like, who's going to come watch me? I'm an Irish fella. All I do is sit here, babble, wave my grey hair in everybody's face, and do mediocre at games. That's not exciting for some people, but for me, I enjoy it. Some of the people who come to watch, they enjoy it, and I like that fact.
Mm-hmm.
But for a point in time there, my wife would be like, are you not streaming today? I get up. I put myself in the chair at the same time every day. Sometimes I do it earlier. Sometimes every now and again I'll do it a little later because stuff in real life. But I still put my butt in the chair. I still hit the button. And I go. And once I'm in, you know it yourself. It's great. But you got to get in.
That makes sense.
Remember to push yourself into the chair. And the rest of it will come along behind that because you, like you said, you made affiliate quick. You knew people, you know people. People just need to see that you're doing it again. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with directly messaging people, letting them know you're back on, or even asking, hey, did I do something wrong? Is there anything I can improve, especially at the early stages? I don't think it's rude or disrespectful ever to just go out there and just straight up ask, what can I do to improve?
Yeah, you have to be a little careful about that. But in general, I think it's a good idea to reach out to people who used to come by or whatever and just either let them know that you loved hanging out with them in the past or just get some thoughts on the stream as a whole. That's a good idea. I want to add on to what you guys all said that, my whole thing is goal setting and all that. But kind of just finding like the reason you're doing the stream overall is really important. And I think that's it. Once you have your why really figured out, why you're going to be streaming, what the goal is with your stream, whether it's for you, whether it's for a business, whether, if people are counting on you. I hear that all the time as a huge motivator for people. If you have like people that are going to be there to watch you, or that your content really helps a certain type of people, that can really be motivating. So finding that, or whatever reason it is that people should come watch you and you're streaming, get that really nailed down. I think that's a great long-term motivator if you can really write it down in words. So I'll just add that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, all that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess wanted some of your stories, wanted to find out exactly what I needed, or kind of get an idea of what I had to do to kind of get back into it,
There's
so
no
really
streamer. Yeah, there's no streamer that hasn't been demotivated at some point. And I'm going to keep plugging it. If you need support, if you need a little bit of a kicker, TRUgaming Discord.
Mm-hmm. Also, a quick question. Sinjin, what do you stream?
Well, I started out streaming primarily League of Legends and Fortnite every once in a while. Now it's been mostly League of Legends, and when my friends get off of League, I'll get onto Magic the Gathering Arena.
So there you are, lads. Those people who are watching, if you're interested in League of Legends or Magic, you know a streamer who may be doing it.
I'm gonna plug GreenChord's February tier list on average. No, I'm gonna do it. I saw you just almost snap your neck, shaking your head on the League of Legends and Fortnite.
No, League was the fist pump. Fortnite was the
my bad. Fortnite.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
Realistically, if he's enjoying his game, he's doing it right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're not wrong.
No, I don't touch Fortnite anymore.
Good for you.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you for calling in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, man. We'll talk to you later.
Sounds good.
See ya.
Bye.
Alrighty, so we're going to go to a text question next, which was also from Twinkie Talks. This is what I'm kind of excited for, guys. Do you guys use tags to find streamers? Tags have been around for a while now, and I'm just wondering how many people actually use them. So I'm curious what you guys think about the tag system, because it's there, but it's not very there, if you know what I'm saying. Maybe starting with Diasean, your thoughts on the tag system here?
Oh, the tag system. Okay, so before the tag system, when the community thing came up, my Streamlabs bot, I would go in, I'd put in a few key things that needed to be done, and I'd set it up, and it'd be great and glorious and wonderful. Do you know who never looked at the dashboard on Twitch? Me. I just did what I did. Started up the stream, got going, I was in place. Yes, everything's great. The only time I would really fire up Twitch is to go watch people or to make sure I've got transcoding because I love mobile viewers. Now, that being said, every time I go to stream now, I've got to fire up Twitch, go into the dashboard, make sure that it's actually got tags related to what I'm doing. And you know what I never click on when I'm looking for a stream to watch? Tags. Your Twitch. Why? Why? I never use them. I told you I don't use them when we were sitting at TwitchCon and looking you right in the eye and said you took away communities and killed half of them out there. Why? I don't like tags. I hate them with a fiery passion. And I'll put them on my stream because maybe I'll find the one fella out there who's like, I love tags. Click. Love them.
Yeah, actually,
yes.
Really quickly, if you guys are watching in chat, do any of you guys, either have you found us today via tags, maybe go into the directory and you clicked on us because of tags, or do you ever do that via tags? Because I'm curious. Vel's shaking his head. What do you think, Vel?
I haven't paid attention to tags in so long. As soon as I realized the more tags you start, like you put one tag, like eventually you're just gonna make it so you can't find anybody on Twitch. Like even in Fortnite, like if you put 3 tags in, there's like 10 people. So you like, and they might not even be entertaining to you because they're not like the tags don't really do much. It doesn't. There's no like humor tags or I focus on skill or anything like that. The tags are all super bland things that don't really affect how you are entertained. I think the tags could be much better. Like, as far as like options.
The tag thing to me is like the most frustrating thing on Twitch because I think it's actually a great system, but they don't use it. All it is these little boxes below the channels. To me, tags is the perfect system for the discovery problem that we talked about earlier. Like if they had a stream finder of kind of like StreamKick, but you could put the categories in there and it would like match you with streamers based on those things. That would be really cool. But of course, they don't do that. Right. By the way, in the chat, we had like 10 people say no and 1 person say, yes, I use tags. So majority of people do not use tags, which is what I was thinking. MemoriiCard, what are your thoughts on tags?
I put tags on every stream I go live with. I couldn't tell you how to search for a stream with tags. I don't actually know. So that's a rib.
Yeah.
Like, no, seriously, do I click it like under your stream to find other streams with the tag? Like,
I don't know actually.
That seems kind of rude.
I don't know how to do it.
Let me go to my friend Bob's stream. Now I'm here. Let me go click on gaming news underneath it. Click.
Well, at the top of some directories, you can filter by tags. So, like, if someone's playing a certain character or map or something. But I don't think that's for all the tags. So I just want to share a little anecdote of my own tag usage. They've been slowly adding tags. And I do think, as streamers, you should tag your streams. It's probably not that important, but, every inch you can get helps. What I found recently is they've added a lot of weird tags. So I've been using them kind of like sarcastically. So, for example, they have tags for evil characters and good characters. So as someone who plays Kirby, the cutest character in Smash, I'll put evil characters as my tag just to see if anybody sees that and clicks on it. And it's like, evil Kirby, what is going on? But so I think there's a lot of, and even like for the True stream, we did the PC build. Visual ASMR is a tag on Twitch. So we use that for the PC building because people have called it that. So I think you can have some fun there. Again, I don't think that'll really drive people to your stream, but it might be like a quirky thing you can do with your own channel if you want to. Just my own little experience.
Apex visual ASMR coming up.
Yeah, pretty much. So go through. There's a ton of them, and I mean, you can get really creative with how you tag your stuff for sure.
No, it's fine. I tag visual loud noises pretty regularly.
Yeah, there you go.
Casual play. I do a lot of casual playthrough, and if I haven't played a game, I'll put blind on there. But like, just because I put the tags on doesn't mean I look for tags. I'm a terrible person. I'm just like,
no, it's not even terrible. It's just that's how it is.
I think actually on the Twitch homepage since we started talking about this. I don't know how to find people with tags.
That's the
Somebody
problem.
please
That's something to
whisper me
add.
and tell me.
Well, and so the little poll we had in chat, I think, is a good indicator of why you should do tags, because let's say 90% of people, most of us here, don't look at tags, don't know how to use them, don't know how to find them, but 10% do. I mean, you can give 10% of people a way to find you. So it's not going to make a big difference, but every little inch you can get helps. That's kind of my thoughts on that. But good question from Twinkie Talks. Thank you for that one. We had a question from All Fun and Games who said, I was curious what your thoughts on stream teams are specifically, if you feel it will benefit your channel to make one. So this is on the subject of your partner. You can create a stream team now. Have you guys, no, none of us are partners. I'm sorry, MemoriiCard, not to slight you like that, but
I've made
have
a
you
Twitch
guys,
team.
you've made one?
Yeah. For a little bit, a buddy of mine who hadn't streamed for over a year let me hit up support from his account. Well, I didn't say that. I'm sure that that's against terms.
Okay.
He made it. He made it for me.
Moving on, let's say if you were to be able to have a team on Twitch, have you guys thought about, like, if you became a partner and had the ability to create a team, do you think you would? Do you have any ideas, or would it sort of be you'd have no idea what to do?
If I had something to offer other streamers, maybe, as far as like, I mean, I guess going and raiding people from your own team is really cool. So I guess like for that reason, maybe, but I don't see that necessarily benefiting you too much as the person who started the team. Like it's more to spread the positivity and just spread the overall, just spread the love to everybody, as opposed to thinking about it being for yourself, I guess.
Right, I got you. Yeah, I think there's a lot of cool things that come with partnership, and the team feels like the weirdest one to work out, because I've seen a lot of partners who just make a team that's called themselves. It's like, here is the GreenChord team. It doesn't really mean anything, and maybe you just have, like, you can invite your community members or something. I think, like you said, it's better if you have a reason to use it that you can really think through. Like, our own teams, True Partner, True Affiliate, those are very distinct teams that you're actually part of our sponsorship program. That's why you're on there, versus like a generic team. Diasean, have you thought through team stuff at all before? Maybe been on a team that's been done well?
I've been on a couple of teams. Obviously, True is one of them. I was on a stream team for a partner who was in existence for a little bit. But for her, the team itself, it didn't seem to have a concept, like a cohesive idea behind it. It was a team for a team's sake because she was able to do it as a partner. So she actually broke it down. She took it apart. And now it sits in limbo. And it doesn't exist because she wanted to figure out what she wanted to do with it before she went any further. Now, about the community that I'm a major part of beyond True. For something like that, to keep that community working in this world where communities as a group on Twitch doesn't exist, that to me sounds like a very reasonable way to use it, where streamers who are part of it and so that are connected to you and that you personally enjoy their stuff, if they want to, they can use it to link up with other streamers of a similar concept. But the idea behind it, to me, isn't for the partner. It's not like you're using it as an ad for you, because honestly, it's people who are connected to you in some fashion. You're quote unquote endorsing them. You want to be sure who's on your team and that they reflect positively on everyone else as a whole. And that's a big responsibility. So you can't just do it because it's Bloody Tuesday. You have to do it because you can believe in the people you're putting on there. Everyone and their grandmother? No. But 6 people I believe in? Yes.
Yeah, I think teams is a situation where you want to take your time and think through it and not just rush to get something out, especially because teams, the way they work on the back end is that once they're set up, you can't change them. Like, you can't change the URL. You're pretty much locked into that. And each partner can create 2 teams, but after that, like, you're done. You can't do any more. So I would take your time on that. If All Fun just became a partner, that's probably why he's asking this question. So I would definitely take your time on that. But Vel, MemoriiCard, do you guys have any more thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, if I were ever able to have made a team for any reason, I I think that as long as you accept the fact that as a partner, you are somewhere where you, if you aren't already full time, you have a really good shot of making this a full time thing, and furthermore a career path. That being said, if you invite somebody on a team, whether intentional or not, they are now reflecting your entirety of your brand. They're reflecting on you. It's kind of like when you host somebody, you got to be a little careful because you might very well be showing somebody on your team right on your channel. And if they're toxic, if they're doing bad things, I mean, you can get demonetized on YouTube for your comment section now, let alone if somebody's being toxic on your Twitch channel. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's I don't know. It's a lot of responsibility, and it's a very weird place to trust other people. I think our teams work out phenomenally. I get auto hosts from people that don't even follow me, from the True partner and not the True affiliate team. That I'm not on both.
That's right. He was the only partner to apply for affiliate as well.
I applied for affiliate after I got True partner.
Just for the memes. All right. Well, thank you for that question. That was from All Fun. Hopefully that helps you out, man. And let us know what you do with the partner team stuff, because I'm sure that's exciting. Next question, guys. Actually, I should mention quickly, we have about 20 minutes left in the show. So 2 things. One, you should definitely call in or ask your question now because we're hitting crunch time. So definitely recommend doing that, especially calling. Join the Discord server to do that. And also the giveaway will be opening in about 20 minutes. So for those of you wondering, it's coming. Next question, though, is from Avoid the Area, who said, do you feel that console players are at a disadvantage on Twitch? If so, do you have any advice for console players / streamers? Okay, so do any of you guys have any experience doing a lot of console with your streams? Okay, MemoriiCard.
Yeah, I exclusively stream console games. My PC's solid enough to stream what I wanted to stream. It is not solid enough to play what I wanted to stream while streaming it. So, I mean, I pretty much exclusively stream stuff like Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, Persona, Call of Duty every now and then. I don't think playing on a console puts you at a disadvantage as far as Twitch goes. I do, however, think streaming from a console has its cap out point where you need to not do that anymore. But keeping to the original question, I know games like Fortnite, Apex, some people look down and talk crap about console players, but really how entertaining your stream is all that matters.
Yeah, I want to quickly mention on there that with competitive games in particular that are on both console and PC, it seems like there's a very common trend of people who come in your chat and just basically discount any of your achievements because you're on console and not on PC. So I think that's always going to be something to deal with. But continuing on to Diasean, maybe? What's that?
Well, wait, doesn't Nick Merck stream from a console?
There's some Fortnite player who does.
With a controller? Yeah. So, I mean, it's not impossible, but yeah, I'll pass that on. Sorry.
Streaming from the console, like, because there's 2 different versions of where that question can be considered. If you're talking about you stream from your console and you're streaming your console games, like you've got the Xbox One or the PlayStation, you're using the built-in client to do so. It's a good starting point to get you in place, and some ways to make it a little bit better in the interim between when you're starting and when you're using a computer, if you go that route, is you can go online and you can use like Nightbot or Stream Elements, the bots that go along with those, so that you have a bot in your channel to help control some stuff as you're going along, let people know how to find you, tell them about who you are, have these things in place so that you've got a little extra step up above what's in the chat, right? That way you get a little bit of extra working with it. Beyond that, if you do have a computer that's able to stream, there are ways to do it even if you can't afford a capture card. Xbox has an app on the computer that lets you stream your computer, like to your computer from your console, and then you can capture that screen and broadcast that out. Is it great? No. Will it do the job though? It can, depending on your computer and your Wi-Fi network. Yep. You can do the same thing with your PlayStation because they have that remote play app. And I even tried to do that while I was in a different state. My brother's internet was crap. That didn't work. Oh no. But it was still something that was a viable option and allowed me to quote unquote get my foot in the door before I was able to get to a point where a stream card, like a capture card, was a thing. And these are ways for you to do it. Once you get a capture card, then you're talking all the overlay stuff. And that is a tier up, admittedly. But honestly, I don't care if you've got an overlay. I'm apparently not the world authority on all of this stuff. Overlays are not, notifications are not. Those bots that I mentioned, you can have notifications in the chat thanks to those. But you won't have the pretty thing on the screen. If you're entertaining, I don't care. You're playing your game. I see stuff that looks good. You're chatting with me. I'm able to talk to you in your reply. This is everything that Twitch is supposed to be for me. The other stuff is fluff. I said, that was fugging. That's what that was. So play, have fun, be entertaining. If you're doing it straight from the console or you're doing it from your computer, I don't care. And a lot of people out there may not care. Will some people care about it and judge you appropriately, like judge you along those lines? Absolutely. But if they're going to do it based on that, then they're not the viewer for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Velok, you have thoughts on are console players limited on Twitch?
Yeah, definitely. So there will always be some, like a vast majority of PC players who think that watching controller, like console players, aren't, it's not as exciting or anything. But the way to get around that is, like, there's still going to be people who only play console that'll be watching Twitch. And something that Dan the Dapper has done and has worked really well for him is he plays Apex on his Xbox, but he puts Xbox in his title, so that if you don't want to watch somebody playing Xbox, to just keep scrolling past that stream. But if you're an Xbox gamer, you'll go right to that because you'll be able to see how he plays and how he does things differently, and it'll be a much more useful stream for you to watch as a console player as opposed to watching a PC player. So I think putting Xbox right there in the title, being straightforward and upfront with it, is super beneficial.
Yeah, and actually that can kind of, you might think you're isolating yourself from a certain audience, but in a game like Apex that's so big, if you kind of, maybe you hit the console market in particular, like if you're like Dan and you like go after Xbox, then actually people who are on Xbox can watch you more, because now this is someone who they can actually learn from, who has the same controller they do, who is playing the same way they do. So maybe that's actually more useful than one of the bigger guys who's got a mouse and keyboard, and that doesn't really work for them.
Someone who may even do community play events where they will play with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, that question was from, remind me again here, I gotta find all my 7 group chats. From Void the Area. Void the Area. Thank you for the question, Void, and hopefully that helped answer your question a bit. Next question here is from the Early Bird Nerd. I love all these rhyming names. They're so good. So audio questions for everyone. Do any of you use mixers or some sort of soundboard? If so, how do you utilize them, and do you think they make a big difference? I'm actually going to start, if that's all right with this one, because I'm a big audio nerd. So yes, I definitely use audio stuff. This right now, I kind of explained it on the podcast or on the show yesterday. This is going through a simple little Behringer mixer, and it really does make a difference with your audio. Just adding some high end, some low end, a compressor in OBS, that will really get a lot more out of your mic. And I definitely think you should at least add filters in OBS with your mic, regardless of what it is. And then if you have the option to get a preamp like this one on the table with me, or a mixer, that's going to do a lot more for your mic and give you a much richer, more tailored sound that will cut through like game audio and other people playing with you on stream, stuff like that. But let's go around the table here and kind of share your own audio setups. Start with Velok on this one, maybe. What's your audio setup like?
I'm running an Audio-Technica 2020 XLR into a Scarlett 2i2 mixer. And I've adjusted the dials somewhat. I don't remember what I did with them exactly. And then I frustratingly finished with filters in OBS for about 3 hours, and then gave up until I started my stream, and they told me your audio is poop, fix it. And then I did the same thing again, and it was frustrating, but it's something that you have to do in order to have a quote-unquote quality stream. And yeah, it's just a lot of trial and error. I've looked up videos on YouTube, and the structure of your room that you stream in and everything will totally change any sort of quote-unquote standard settings for any of your filters. It's not going to work. So just trial and error.
Two little quick pieces of advice I'll throw in on that end. If you guys are like not familiar with audio at all, but you want to make it sound better, a lot of the default settings in OBS are pretty good. So if you just throw on a compressor and a noise gate, that will be a lot better already than what you're having. And then if you're going to mess with like high and low end stuff, just add the opposite end of what your voice is. So I have a very low voice. We add high end onto the mic to make it sound better. So if you have a high voice, add low end. That makes sense. But Diasean, you're up next.
All right. Well, let me make this part clear. I was streaming for 18 months now, and for the last, say, 2, I've had a mixer. But the significant amount of time with that using my laptop, I've used this $30 mic from Amazon, and it is wonderful. It didn't cost me hundreds of dollars. You may have noticed I don't sound like arse. I didn't sound like arse before the mixer, but my roommate who came in November, he basically turned around and said, I've got a spare one. And I went, really? And he went, you can have it. Really? I don't know what I'm doing. And he went, it's okay, I'll set it up for you. So it's over there, and there's all these wires and plugs and doodads, and there's a couple of dials twisted. But this is a $35 mic that came from Amazon, and it is fantastic. There are streamers with headsets. There are streamers who have these mics, and then there are the guys who are starting out. I've been at it 2 days, and I got this $800 microphone, and you're like, dude, be reasonable in your costs. Do you need a mixer up front? No. Is it nice? Yes. $35 mic. Win. 18 months and still going. Please don't break.
Right.
Yeah.
Memory card.
My setup's embarrassingly ghetto. So
hey, that's fine though. I mean, that's what it's all about, right?
I mean,
the range
if
of audio.
it tells you anything, I almost assure you out of the true partners, I've probably got the worst setup. That being said, I love it. I've accumulated it myself, and it is it accurately reflects how jank I am as a person. So it's great. But my audio is it's a Blue Yeti right now. So I'm still I'm still rocking a USB mic, which, albeit is one of the nicest USB mics I can get, but I haven't made the jump yet to using a mixer and doing all that setup. I would love to. It's just not necessarily the first thing on my list of things I need to spend money on right now.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, if anybody has a roommate with a spare mixer,
so
add memory card.
I could talk about audio all day, but I also want to mention two more quick things. One is that you'll see memory cards wearing the earbuds here. Your headset does not matter for your stream. Do not sink money into your headset, because that's not going to affect the viewer experience at all. Just use whatever headphones you want. Maybe it impacts your gameplay, but it doesn't matter for stream. Second is a mixer alone will not change your mic. It's the preamp. So don't buy a mixer thinking it's going to magically fix all your mic issues. You have to learn how to use it and probably use a preamp more than a mixer. So audio is a big topic. If you have really specific questions about your setup or soundboards or anything, I definitely recommend joining either of our Discords, and we can give you more specific feedback there. But good question from the Early Bird Nerd. Still a great name. We have about 10 minutes left here, guys. So now is the best time to get questions in. I think we are open to all questions right now, as far as I can tell.
I actually have an interesting topic if we're open right now.
Sure, go for it, man.
I saw something. There's a partner streamer that I follow, and I've talked to a pretty decent amount, Shadow Fox. She has a former marketing background, and she was basically thinking about all of these companies, all these like game development companies that are forcing you to install their own launchers. And her take on that was really interesting and super scary. She's thinking potentially what could be happening is that all these game development companies could be creating their own launchers to force you to use their software to stream it in the future, to where they don't have their own streaming platforms. So you wouldn't be able to stream, say, Apex on Twitch. And I'm not sure how viable that is, like how much of a possibility it is that would happen. But if that were to be something that like, if that did like become a thing, that would be horrible. You know what I mean? Like that's a really scary thought to think about. So I don't know what you guys think about any of that.
I think it's a possibility. I think especially company that's as notorious for money as EA. I could see them trying to get into that. I don't think it will work though. I mean, you look at something like YouTube, which is very similar type of content. It's been around for a lot longer. You haven't really seen these companies try and do that for video content, or at least successfully, to my knowledge, because you're really going to be limiting people. So again, I could see if Apex continues to grow, gets really big. Let's say EA creates their own streaming whatever rules. You can't stream to Twitch. You can only stream to our platform. Well, I think the smart developers, the developers that do that are going to see a lot less people coming there, and probably streamers not wanting to go there because no one's watching them. It's kind of the problem that smaller stream platforms have already, right? There's less people watching. There's less incentive to stream there. So you can maybe try and like artificially limit people to streaming on certain platforms, but the open one will be where everyone goes to watch. So I think that's where streamers will want to stream. And so games that don't support that platform will probably just not get streamed, is how I would see it. It's just kind of guesstimating here, but that's what I would expect.
Yeah, if I could jump in on that. I mean, first and foremost, that's terrible. Nobody should do it. Yeah. If they do, I simply won't stream their game. But it brings me to thinking about back in the day, because ex-wannabe COD Pro, MLG signed a bunch of contracts for streamers with COD Pro players for years. Not a single one of them is now on that exclusivity contract anymore. All of them bought out of it. It was expensive. It was a huge legal thing, but nobody does it anymore because it is an awful idea to, try to just put such a niche set of streams just limited to one platform. That's just, I don't know. That's the only thing that it makes me think of. That's the only example that comes to mind that's similar. And
yeah,
I mean,
like what I can think of
ran from it.
Right. What I can think of is probably maybe what Nintendo kind of did before, where they used to take down a lot of content and like limit content with whether, they would shut down tournaments or you can't have their platform on YouTube. They moved away from that because it didn't work very well. Surprise, surprise. So my guess is that if companies try this, it won't work very well with Twitch either.
In regards to the specific launchers, I personally have an irritation with the idea that I have to have 15 different programs on here that take up room on my hard drive just so I can install other programs that let me play games that I want to play. Irritating is the word I would use for it, because it doesn't destroy my world or anything like that. Them making their own platform to sell stuff because they go with the idea of, if we sell it ourselves, we don't have to pay a cut to X. I can see them justifying. But trying to, from the ground up, build a viewing platform, that's more investment than anyone would feasibly want to do unless they've got a really firm chokehold on the genre. And nobody does. I mean, I've always been a fan of the concept of, if you don't like it, don't pay for it, and they'll stop it. There's too many white whales out there in the world who turn around and go, I'll drop $1,000 on this thing that I know you never will, and this will keep it active. Why? If nobody bought the thing, like, do you remember when Star Wars, Battlefront, and all this huge hullabaloo over the fact that they were making people pay for the things, and the only way to earn it in game was 2 years of continuously playing 8 hours a day. Otherwise, you're never going to get Vader unless you spend cash. The reason they did that, the reason this was even a conversation, is because people told them through their wallet, I'll buy it. We've got Epic Games locking, like they're locking down games, right, to a platform. We've got Metro, right, got pulled off Steam. Anyone who bought it on Steam prior to that, they get to keep it. But you have to go and install a program to get a game you want. And I'm like, guys, I thought it was bad when Bethesda did it, and they're shite as shite. Fix your store. Come on. If you can make it look good, people might be willing to do it. But fucking make sure it works before you start doing that crap.
Yeah, the game launcher ones, we've talked about that before on the stream. I mean, that's less of like a streaming thing, but it still, of course, impacts us as people who play those games. Right. I feel like that's always going to be a necessary evil. I don't think we're going to get around that. But I don't think that's the same level as like Steam and Discord and Epic and EA making their own streaming platforms. It's just, I mean, you look at the number of people who are on Twitch versus the number of people who play games, and even though there's a lot of people on Twitch, it's not nearly as many as those who play games. So I don't think the numbers would work out if they try to do something like that. Yeah.
Let's be honest. Right now, Twitch's biggest quote-unquote competitor is Mixer. They don't lock it down. They don't have any requirements to be able to work it. They put it out in play, and they have put a lot of support and a lot of advertising behind the concept of it, basically pushing it as hard as they can. Does it have the same amount of viewers as? Not yet. It's working on it. YouTube has some stuff on there too, but I don't go to YouTube to watch people play live. And I've heard, I've never experienced it, Facebook does a version of it too. Lovely. Whatever works for you, lads. I'm not going there. I've got my Twitch.
Yep.
I think as far as streaming platforms go, unless you found some magic way to make streamers a boatload of money, if you're not a company like, for instance, Mixer with Microsoft or Twitch with Amazon, you're simply either going to be bought out or just crushed. You can't compete with that kind of stuff. You know, it's just not going to happen.
You're not wrong.
So, I mean, if I go down to the bank, get a business loan, and try to open a streaming platform, I'm either going to get shut down before I start, or I'm going to get bought out for less than a decimal of a % of what they make in an hour. So it's just no point. People are shooting themselves in the foot if they're going to invest in that.
Right. Cool. Well, I think that'll be our last topic of the day since we have about 2 minutes left here. So that will be the end of Stream Key. I'm going to go around and have you guys sign off with your own thoughts real quickly. Start again with MemoriiCard here. Thanks for coming on, man. Anything you want to say to where people can find you or anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, everything else at MemoriiCard. All one word instead of a Y after memory. It's 2 I's. If you ever need any kind of support, any kind of questions, anything like that, I'm also in the TRUgaming Discord. Feel free to DM me about anything.
Awesome stuff. Diasean, thank you as well for coming on here again. Any sign-off thoughts or stuff that you want to plug?
Well, you already know the fact that I'm a streamer. Strangely, that name is my streamer name. Who knew? I play all the things except sports games. But I stream in the evenings. Come on by. And I will say that him and Belly, it's reflected, so it's that way.
It's reflected on the stream.
I wasn't going to say it.
I was trying to
They're
sort
both
the same thing.
excellent streamers to be watching. So even if it's just a case you came in here for the competition, you just came in because you wanted the microphone, don't forget the fact that there are bloody streamers in here. Check them out. They may be the one you're looking for.
Awesome. I was like, nope, not me. Maybe him. Not me. Well,
I can't
Belog.
see you. You're not on here. It's not my fault.
Oh,
Any
my God.
any last sign-off thoughts for yourself? Any,
Yeah, I do.
Whoops.
any stuff to plug, etc. Links, you know.
I'm Veloc_TV, and I stream on Twitch, and I also have a YouTube video that actually GreenChord edited for me. So yeah, going over my Tim the Tatman rage, which is pretty cool. So yeah,
Video.
Green did a good job with it.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, that's all
All
I
right.
got going on.
Well, thank you guys for coming on again. Chat, those of you watching here, a couple things here. Yes, the giveaway is coming in like 2 minutes. Hang tight. This is Stream Key. We do this every single week here at TRUgaming, and like you saw, with people calling in and the True partners here joining us in the studio to talk about stuff. So please come back next week if you like this show, every Friday at 11 to 1 Eastern. With that said, we're going to sign off and get ready to go into the giveaway. So hang tight. We're going to break down this for like a couple minutes, and then we'll kick off the giveaway. Stay tuned. Talk to you guys in a bit.